Welcome back to the Sports Max Zone. We turn our attention now to football. Round 17 action in the English Premier League continued Wednesday with an additional 4 fixtures. The feature matchup saw 6th placed Arsenal hosting 4th placed West Ham in a London derby, and we have those highlights.
There is no room for racism. So, 4th against 6th, and amidst the frantic, frenetic jockeying for position in the pursuit of European football, it isn't merely parochial pride that is on the line tonight. Lacazette doing his good work out wide. The guard back for Saka. Xhaka with the effort. And then Fabianski maybe got something on that. Certainly the woodwork came to West Ham's rescue. Martinelli. Scored his first ever Premier League goal in this fixture. Breaks the deadlock again. Martinelli, he's added plenty to it already. Lacazette going down. And a penalty belatedly awarded. West Ham's inquest is immediate and vehement.
My gut reaction was that it wasn't. Now, Anthony Taylor took time to consider that, didn't he? Oh, there's a red card been shown there to somebody, a yellow and a red.
It's a foul. Deemed to be a second bookable offence.
I think that's harsh, honestly, I do. I think he gets the top of the ball. I think that's a harsh call, I really do. There's nothing in that for Vladimir Coufal to go over the top and catch Lacazette in the box.
And the penalty isn't compounded. Missed by Lacazette. Arsenal now getting the bodies forward. Emil Smith-Rowe. Saka in support. Lacazette in support. He doesn't need any support. It's the Arsenal support that go wild as Smith-Rowe doubles the lead and sends the Gunners into the top 4.
West Ham have had a go, but they've not had enough. They've just not had enough. Not enough at the top of the field. Arsenal have always looked the more likely. 1-0 is precarious. 2 is game, set and match. Thank you very much.
Delight for Arsenal, and it's a long time since the league table has looked as pretty. A big 3 points for Mikel Arteta against his old mentor.
Yeah, so Arsenal getting the victory there by 2-0. One of 3 matches actually played today, because the 4th match that was scheduled, Burnley against Watford, was not played because Watford having some COVID-19 issues in their setup, and only 3 matches played today instead of the 4. But a good result for Arsenal. Emil Smith-Rowe getting the 2nd strike. Lacazette, the new captain, missing a penalty, Leighton, but he assisted on the goal for the Brazilian Martinelli.
Yeah, a good win for Arsenal. I mean, Arteta has been under so much pressure since he took over at Arsenal. And the thing is, one of the things that I've always been bemused by is the expectation that a coach is going to come in and immediately snap his fingers and change things around. Arsenal needed to rebuild, and thankfully the owners have decided to give Arteta a chance, and it's now beginning to bear fruit. Kind of climbed up the table. They've had some hiccups along the way, of course, getting thrashed by Liverpool just a few weeks ago, and losing a couple of other matches that they weren't expected to lose. But they're finding themselves, they're finding an identity. And I think they're beginning to get the results that they deserve, because they've been playing well without being incisive at the top, at the attacking end of the field. So it's a good win for them, and I think moving into the top 4, now I think the pressure will start to ease up Arteta and probably give the team the kind of confidence to play, with confidence, of course, win other matches, big matches as the season progresses. A good win for them. West Ham, on the other hand, I don't know what's gone wrong with them.
Yeah, well, they've scored a lot of goals, West Ham. In fact, they've only been outscored in the league so far by the top 3 teams, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. But the last 2 games, they haven't scored. They failed to score on the weekend, and in their Europa League game against Dinamo Zagreb, they didn't score either. So they've hit a bit of a bump in the road, West Ham has.
Yeah, and I think part of it is because I don't think and Mikel Antonio doesn't have enough support up front. I think he's their target man, and of course, teams have figured that out now. And so they need to be a little bit more dynamic. I think maybe starting 2 up front, maybe a 5-3-2 formation or 4-4-2 would probably serve them better, because then they'll have greater support up front for the likes of Antonio and Fornals and others who will be able to then get goals. Because without goals, they'll continue to fall. Because this league, as you've seen, is extremely competitive. And that team that you least expect to beat you will probably beat you if you're not scoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fact. Let's have a quick look at the other results from today's fixtures. As we said, match day 17 or round 17 of the English Premier League in progress. Still one more to come. The standings following today's results. Man City continuing to lead with their 41 points, Liverpool 37 and Chelsea on 36 points. And the 2 teams that played today, Arsenal and West Ham, occupying 4th and 5th at the moment. They've just switched positions. So Arsenal have moved up to 29 points now, which puts them 12 off the lead, if my math is correct. West Ham just 1 behind them on 28 points, followed by Man United on 27 and Tottenham Hotspur on 25. So the latest point standings there in the English Premier League. Now, ahead of his clash with Leicester City on Thursday, the Spurs manager, Antonio Conte, revealed the league did not grant his team a request they had made for the match to be postponed because of a COVID outbreak at the London club the previous week.
For me, it's very difficult to speak about this topic, and for sure, a Premier League didn't want to postpone the game against Leicester. Maybe because we have to play against Burnley and then against Brighton, because we postponed two games before. I can understand. We can understand in one end. In another end, I think that we deserve to play our chance against Rennes to go to the next group, and don't find a good solution between UEFA and Premier League. Why Tottenham has to pay this? Why? I think that is not fair. It's not fair that we have to pay a situation that is not our fault.
Yeah, typical outspoken Antonio Conte. Leighton, can the Spurs feel hard done by the EPL not facilitating their request for a postponement here? Absolutely,
Lance. When you look at the fact that Manchester United game with Brentford, Spurs' game with Brentford, and of course today's game with Watford and Burnley are all postponed because of COVID. A team, remember, the Premier League is not for fun. There is a lot at stake for teams doing well. And if you're not able to field your strongest team because of a COVID outbreak, it's not a fault of the team. It's not a fault of anybody else. There's a pandemic. We're living in a pandemic. I don't see any reason why that match could not be postponed. I think the FA probably is thinking about the number of postponements that they had before and how much of a cluster that could cause in terms of the schedule. But the safety and health of the players and the employees of the club is also important. Even more important than the games, because as Jurgen Klopp would say, football is just a game. There are things that are more important than football. The thing is that if you're able to postpone the Manchester United game against Brentford, Spurs' game against Brentford, and of course the game today at Burnley and Watford, because both teams have had issues with COVID, there's no reason why I think there can't be another postponement in terms of the Leicester game versus the Spurs, because the reality is that you should be allowed to field your strongest teams, and if your players are being affected by the pandemic, it's only fair to give them a fair chance.
Yeah, worrying trend here for the EPL, because we know how busy the Christmas and New Year's holiday period is with the proliferation of games, and the last thing you want is COVID-19 rising cases to scupper the opportunity for these teams to have their usual busy holiday program. We go to break. When we come back, I think we have the second set of zone updates.